Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 6 a.m. on WKYT, the polls are now open across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We are live with team coverage on Kentucky's general election.
Also tracking a crime alert after an overnight robbery at a Lexington gas station.
And with a chance of snow later this week, downtown Lexington is getting all spruced up for the holidays, the spirit of the season. Those stories and more, breaking news as it happens, coming up on WKYT This Morning. Hey, top of the morning to you and welcome. It's good to have you with us. Finally, after months and months of campaigning and all those ads, it's decision day for voters. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. All those ads, a key phrase there. And, you know, as far as today's weather goes, it gets my vote.
How could it get any better, really? Yeah. I mean, considering where we've been and where we're going later in the week, this is the pick day, a good day to go out there and vote. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris in our First Alert Weather Center.
I'm kind of with Rebecca on this one. I mean, if weather was on the ballot, I think all of us would vote weather today. I mean, it's beautiful outside. It's gorgeous. We're sitting there with a few clouds overhead. And look, we're going to have 40s and 50s this morning. By the afternoon, we're sitting in the 60s, and believe it or not, maybe even squeezing out a 70-degree reading here and there down toward the south and southwest. It's pretty nice right there. Current temperatures at the moment sitting in the 40s and 50s, but there are a couple spots there in the 30s due to the clearing of the skies, and that's what happens. Most of us dealing with some clouds overhead. But today's forecast, heading out to vote, 67. Beautiful day in store. Nice little breeze, too. Well, I'll put the pet pick in there. Well, there's Shadow, Destiny. It wasn't supposed to be that, but I'll show you that again later on in the show, guys.
All right, Shadow just showed up. We begin with a WKYT News breaking news alert. A person is dead after a fiery crash this morning in Boyle County.
It happened a little before 2 o'clock this morning on Hubble Road. That's about a mile south of Kentucky 52. The coroner says it appears the driver of a truck lost control and crashed into a tree. The Ford Ranger then caught fire. Here is a live look at the scene. This morning crews are just now leaving the area. The coroner cannot yet say if the victim is a man or a woman. The body is being sent to the state medical examiner's office. We'll have more on the story as it becomes available, and we continue to work our sources this morning. Well, 15 months and $78 million later, it's time for Kentuckians to have their say in one of the country's most watched U.S. Senate races. Republican Senator Mitch McConnell, an incumbent, is seeking a sixth term against Democratic challenger Allison Lundergan Grimes. WKYT's Sean Moody is live in Lexington, where the polls just opened.
Hey, Sean, good morning.
And the polls are open now. Kentuckians across the Commonwealth are now heading to the polls to figure out who will come out ahead in this race that's been going for more than a year now. The race has been on since last summer, and it will all come down to today. Over the course of the year, Grimes and McConnell have traded the lead back and forth. The most recent WKYT Herald Leader Bluegrass poll showed McConnell with a 5-point lead over Grimes, 48% to 43%, with Libertarian David Patterson taking 3%. McConnell's campaign said that was a sign of people's growing enthusiasm to get behind someone who opposes President Obama. They've worked hard to link Grimes to Obama. Grimes has said even though she's running as a Democrat, she disagrees with Obama on some issues. Her campaign said last week this race has been a toss-up since it began, and it will all come down to voter turnout. Grimes has campaigned for a change, that change being herself as Senator. McConnell urged voters to stick with what they know since he's been serving for 30 years now. Again, this has been one of the most closely watched races across the country, and we will soon know who comes out ahead. Live in Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Sean, thank you. Candidates in each race will be campaigning until the polls close today. The two candidates in the 6th District congressional race in central Kentucky spent yesterday going door to door. Republican incumbent Andy Barr focused on precincts where the race was close in 2012. His Democratic challenger, Elizabeth Jensen, focused where there are still many undecided voters. Both Barr and Jensen will be voting this morning in Lexington.
Today we are tracking Lexington's mayoral race. Incumbent Mayor Jim Gray is looking to serve the city for another term. He's up against former Chief of Police Anthony Beatty. Gray says his 3 goals are creating jobs, governing efficiently, and building a great American city. Beatty says if elected, he'll work on forming relationships with the people of Lexington. Well, there are a few things to know today before you head out to the polls.
WKYT's Victor Puente continues our team coverage. He is live outside a voting precinct in Lexington with that. Victor, good morning.
There's already been about a dozen voters out here at Hillendale Christian Church. And for the next 12 hours, Kentuckians will have the chance to impact not only the state, but the country with Senate and congressional races on the ballot. Now, the Secretary of State is projecting about 49% of Kentucky's 3 million registered voters will come out today. As long as you're in line by 6 p.m., you will get to vote. There have been some changes to elections recently. A federal judge struck down Kentucky's law that banned electioneering within 300 feet of polls, so you could see more signs than usual. Also, today, alcohol sales will be legal during an election in Lexington. That law was changed on a state level before the last primary election, but Lexington had a city ordinance that was still on the books. Now, if you should see any irregularities during today's election, the state has set up an election fraud hotline. That number is 1-800-328-VOTE, and it will be open from now until an hour after polls close. Live in Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
All right, Victor, thank you very much. The polls did just open minutes ago. They will stay open until 6 o'clock this evening. Stay with WKYT News throughout the day for complete Election Day coverage. We'll be having the latest trends at mid-morning and noon. And join us for an election special on the CW Lexington from 6:30 until 8 tonight. We'll have race results, analysis, and the speeches live, and we'll be constantly updating the results for you at WKYT.com.
New this morning, police are investigating an armed robbery at a Lexington gas station just before midnight. Police say a man pulled a knife on a clerk at a Thornton's on Winchester Road near Loudon Avenue. A witness was able to give police a good description of the suspect. Police say the man took off with cash down Strader Drive. Today, investigators will be back at the scene of a fire that destroyed a Scott County business. It started yesterday at A&Z Towing on Industry Road in Georgetown. Witnesses say smoke could be seen from miles away. Employees who were inside at the time say the fire quickly spread. Investigators will now be looking into the cause of that fire today.
One of the hosts of NPR's radio talk show Car Talk has died. Tom Magloziosi died Monday of complications from Alzheimer's disease. He and his brother Ray were both MIT grads who opened a car repair shop in Cambridge, Massachusetts in the early 1970s. The radio show started after Maglozzi was invited to a radio roundtable discussion with some other local auto mechanics, and show producers were very impressed with him. The brothers stopped taping live shows back in 2012. Tom Magloziosi was 77 years old. Well, it is a sign of the season. The ice rink in downtown Lexington will soon be ready for skaters to drop by.
Very exciting. This right here is a live look at Triangle Park from one of our sky cams. Construction on the ice rink is already underway. The Downtown Lexington Corporation says crews are laying down ice for the rink this week. It will be opening for this season on Friday. You'll also be able to skate until January 11th. So a lot of exciting things happening this coming weekend. In addition to that, you've also got Fayette Mall's new stores that'll be opening up on Friday.
Right, lots going on. People are getting into the season, and there is a chance to go down and skate. There's your opportunity, right?
I'm not the best at that. But
Negliosi, I want to say, to give honor to his long and storied career.
Struggling a little bit with that one, but we'll forgive you.
There you go. It's early, 6:08 our time on WKYT this morning, and let's see what's going on early on this election day. As we look outside right now at I-75 and I-64 at the northern split, a reminder that schools are required to close on Election Day in the Commonwealth, and so as a result of the fact that many of those are polling places, that should lighten up traffic some, but anticipate heavy volumes of traffic in and around those polling places today. No reports of any early trouble. Let's get out there, make it a good day, and go vote.
Yeah, get out the vote.
WKYT this morning is just getting started.
A bizarre wake-up call for someone out in California. How neighbors describe the unusual intruder ahead.
40s and 50s out and about. It's on the cool side, not the cold side. And then as we head toward the afternoon, much milder temperatures in the forecast. Maybe even some 70s squeezing out here and there. We'll go over that and also a cold weather pattern with some snow. Yeah, I'll show you that coming up next.